Hi, my name's Rebecca, and I have Lyme disease. And I wanted to start my own channel on YouTube so that I can kind of take you through the day-to-day issues that I'm going with my Lyme disease. I was diagnosed in March 2020. I've had symptoms for about 20 years now. I didn't realize it was all connected to the Lyme, but it is. I had a 6-panel test done by IGeneX in March of 2020, and I came back positive for Lyme disease, along with co-infections of Bartonella, which is causing extreme pelvic burning of my pelvic floor area, and Babiosis, which is causing me to have a cough, and it causes shortness of breath and night sweats and malaria type symptoms. So I just wanted to kind of take you through the day to day. Since I got diagnosed in March, I've had a really hard time finding a doctor that would be able to treat me. I've been denied by my insurance company a few times because apparently chronic Lyme disease is a political or controversial issue, which is crazy when you actually have it and you feel like you're dying, literally dying. So that's been the biggest part, is having a disease that nobody really knows about, but then having your insurance company deny you on top of it. So, long story short, got diagnosed in March by a GI, integrative GI in Los Angeles. I live in Sacramento, California. So he informed me to find a doctor up here in Northern California, and I'm still looking for someone to help me. I went to Medical Options for Wellness in Foster City, and that practice didn't work out for me. And so over the last couple months, I've been really trying to focus on finding a doctor that would take my insurance, because the $600 appointments every 6 weeks would just completely bleed me dry. And I definitely don't have that kind of extra income. I don't know who does. So tomorrow, I actually have an appointment with an integrative doctor that accepts my insurance, and I'm praying to God she can help me, because I've been saying it since December of 2019 that I'm just running out of time. Okay, I just cannot continue to be sick anymore. Time's running out. But the good news is that in December of 2019, I had a goal that by my birthday, which is 7/7, and I'm actually going to be 40 on 7/7, which is hard to believe, but my goal was to figure out what was wrong with me and find a doctor that could treat me on my birthday. So in March, I figured out what's wrong with me. I have Lyme disease, and my birthday is weeks away now, and I have this appointment tomorrow, and I'm praying to God that this doctor can help me and come up with a treatment plan for me. Otherwise, I swear to God, I just want to be done. I mean, this life is just too hard to live when you have a chronic illness that nobody understands, nobody treats it. I mean, what are we supposed to do? So stay tuned. This is my first episode. I'm going to start posting more episodes because I think it's really valuable for other people out there that also have Lyme's disease, to understand what it's like day to day to be suffering with this condition. So it's been really hard for me. I got tested back in February of 2020, and I got the results back about the beginning of March. So the results came in, and then pretty quickly after that, we went on lockdown here in Northern California. And so I had a couple more appointments with my Los Angeles doctor over Skype. And then I was starting at a new practice in the Bay Area, which didn't work out, and those were Zoom appointments. But just to kind of sum up how I've been feeling, I've been spending the last couple months here in quarantine really kind of analyzing the symptoms I've had over the years and kind of adding up like when all this started for me. And it's going to sound crazy, but I do talk to a psychic every now and then to kind of just see like where I'm at with my health and, my job and everything like that. And according to the psychic that I talked to, unfortunately, I had my first tick bite at the age of 3 up in eastern Washington State. But, my immune system was doing pretty good then. And so I was able to fight off the Lyme disease for a long time. However, things definitely started changing pretty quickly after the tick bite. When I was 4 years old, I just all of a sudden became just filled with rage. It would just come out of nowhere. And my mom would ask me, what was wrong with me. And at the age of 4, I would tell her that I felt like I had a hook in my brain, and that it would just come loose for no reason, and I would just totally lose it. And now that I add up the symptoms, and I realize that I originally got bit at the age of 3, I'm now realizing that what I had as a kid was Lyme rage and not ADHD like my mom thought it was. It would get so bad, in elementary school, that I would just take a pencil and I would just bite like every square inch of the pencil with my teeth. And then I would bite the eraser off and spit it across the room. And it was just really weird because I would just totally fill with rage for no apparent reason. And it was kind of out of my control. So I suffered with that as a kid. And it was really hard for me to like keep friends and maintain relationships because my memory was so bad. I could never remember anybody's name, and my concentration wasn't good. I was always a bad test taker. And now that I know that I had Lyme at the time, it kind of explains why I couldn't take tests very well. But the other point I wanted to stress is that, so I had the memory and concentration problems and the rage as a child. And then from there, the Lyme disease progressed into like a narcoleptic state, where all of a sudden in high school, I wasn't able to get out of bed in the morning. My dad would like open the door and turn on the ceiling fan. I still wouldn't get up. So then he'd have to turn on the light, and I still wouldn't get up. So then he'd have to turn on the TV, and I still wouldn't get up. And then he would just have to like take the blankets off the bed, and I would finally get up. But it was like I would sleep a solid 8-9 hours. Wake up in the morning, feel like I never got any rest. And then after high school, I went on to college and moved into the dorms at Humboldt State University back in 1998. And I really quickly realized that I just didn't have the energy that all of my, colleagues had. And I wasn't able to stay up late. I was always just really tired. And it was just really hard for me to get up in the morning. And so the fatigue really just kind of continued out through college. And then a couple years into college is when my obsessive compulsive disorder really started. And it just really started out of nowhere. It was just one day I was just like, oh shit, did I leave the coffee pot on? I better go home and check. And it just started from there, and it just got out of control to the point where I'd be at the library, on the quiet floor trying to study, and all I could think about was, oh my God, is my stove on? Is my door unlocked? Is my coffee pot on? And what was crazy about it is it literally seemed like it just started out of nowhere, and it just went from not existing at all to just being like a 10 out of 10, like in the intensity of the OCD. So that really affected my college life as well. And so, I don't know, it's just been a lot. It's been a lot to deal with the fact that, none of these doctors ever mentioned to me I could possibly have Lyme disease. I was a ranger for the U.S. Forest Service in the summer of 2000 up in Wenatchee National Forest in Washington State. I was a ranger for Redwood National Park back in the summer of 2001. I went to school at Humboldt State University from 1998 to 2003, so I did all kinds of hiking and recreating in the woods and everything. And then, even after college, I moved here to Sacramento, and I would go to Bodega Bay and go camping a couple times. My biggest regret